What's up, guys? This is your boy K Smooth, and I just watched The Walking Dead's new episode, Here's Not Here, which was a 90-minute episode about Morgan's story of how he got to Alexandria, and it revealed who this person called Eastman, or also known as the Cheesemaker, who Morgan had said he learned these when someone asked him in a couple episodes before where he learned all these fancy moves. He said he learned it from this guy called the Cheesemaker. So the story is about how Morgan, he sort of believes something called clear, where he killed anyone on the spot or anyone that got close to him, and he believed that's how he was surviving. And when he meets the Cheesemaker, who the reason he was called the Cheesemaker was because he had this goat and he was still trying to learn how to make proper cheese with the goat's milk. So the Cheesemaker shows Morgan this art form. I don't really remember the name of the art form, but it's a art form of peace. And he tells Morgan how all life is precious. No matter how evil the person is, their life is just as precious as yours, which Morgan tells Daryl at the end of season 5 that he believes all life is precious. But it sort of takes Morgan a while to do this. So, because when Morgan first sees Eastman, he tries to shoot and kill him, because that's what he does with most people he sees for the first time. He just tried to kill them, because that's how he believes he would survive. And Eastman had locked him up until he thought that Morgan would be more sustainable or in a sustained state. And Eastman taught Morgan about the peace and art form, and he never locked the door to the cell that he locked Morgan in. But Morgan had never checked if the door was unlocked. And eventually Eastman had told him. And when Eastman lets him out and tells him he could either stay and learn about the peace form, or he could go, but he says killing him was not an option. Morgan does still try to kill Eastman. And if you look at the side of if you look sort of at the side of the edges of the screen when Morgan's trying to kill him, it sort of shows a blurriness, which is like a predator instinct where predators, like, they kill on the sight and they have like this blurry vision at their side, which is like a killing vision. And then Eastman beats Morgan and shows him that all life should be precious, and he shows Morgan this form of peace. And then Eastman tells him the story of how he lost his family, and he knew what was wrong with Morgan because he had worked with these criminals that did all this bad stuff before, and how they had done this because of a trauma they had been through, like how Morgan lost his family, how his wife, who had been a walker, if you didn't already know, and had killed his son. And Eastman tells him the story of how there was this man named Krypton Dallas Wilson, who he acted really nice to people, and he acted really nice to these people, like to put flowers in hospital waiting rooms and stuff. But Eastman had seen the evil in his eyes. And when Krypton had found this out, he tried to kill Eastman, and Eastman found a way to lock him up for a long time, or forever. And, well, Krypton does escape, but the only reason he escaped the prison was to do one thing, which was ruin Eastman's life. And what he does is he escapes this prison and he goes and he kills Eastman's wife, son, and daughter. to, so he could show, and Eastman believed that no matter even how bad the man was, he believed in this peace. Overall, the episode had been really good. And if you have noticed, in the beginning of the episode, where Morgan had been, like, he'd been talking to yelling at someone, how someone had this knife and gun, and he was yelling into a fire. I believe that the person he was yelling at was, I think, his son. How he said his son had the knife and gun, or he was yelling at himself, and how he never had the courage to stop his son from dying. No matter how hard, he couldn't, I think it was, he couldn't kill his wife, even though she was a walker, because he didn't have it in him. Well, overall, this episode had been really good. And I also have a sort of funny theory for last week's episode. So if you noticed at the ending of last week's episode that Rick had been surrounded by all these walkers around the RV, like in the ending of season 1, episode 1, where he'd been surrounded by walkers in a tank. It would be funny if in the episode next week, that if Glenn survives and he climbs onto this building, right? Because Glenn has a walkie-talkie, and he sees Rick locked up in the RV, and he said the exact same words he said to him at the end of season 1, episode 1, which was, "Hey dumbass, you cozy in there?" It would be funny if that's what they do for next week's episode, if Glenn did survive. They do show a possible escape route, but I don't know how he's going to get past all those walkers. So, this was my review on Season 6, Episode 4, or my retell on Season 6, Episode 4, Here's Not Here. There had also been a part in the episode where Morgan had caused the cheesemaker's death, because when the cheesemaker turned to kill a certain walker, the only thing he could think of was how he was the one who turned this person into a walker by strangling him when he was human. And because of that, Eastman had gone bitten. So this was my review. Tell me how good it was, if you liked it, what you want me to add next time, or what you want me to do. And like and subscribe. Until then, I'll see you next time.